Hi, Damien Blenkinsop here, founder of Ketosource, and I'm here to introduce you the Ketone Bar, which is brand new. It's all just out now. It's called the Ketone Bar because it is ketogenic. It is also ketone boosting, which is in addition to it being ketogenic, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. And it's all natural ingredients. And these were key things that I wanted in a bar that didn't exist. Now, why do I do this? Well, basically, a few years ago, I've been on a keto lifestyle for 7-8 years now, and I returned to the UK, and I was trying to follow my keto lifestyle, and I found it kind of tricky when I was out about working, when I was traveling, when I was just really busy. Nothing was in the health shops, like nearly everything had dates in it, and was actually glycemic, glucose spiking, therefore not ketogenic. So all of the stuff in the shops basically didn't work for me. It was tricky to follow. And then there were some new keto bars coming out, and they have come out over the last couple of years, but they're pretty expensive. So I'm importing these from the US or other places, which contributes to them being more expensive. And also they're just not great because they kind of fall apart. They're crumbly, they're sticky, and sometimes the taste is pretty extreme. So these are the reasons I did this. I just wasn't satisfied with the status quo, basically. And here's what I did. I put 2 years of experiments into this. So that is actually 39 human guinea pigs. The first one was myself. I did a lot of the testing first myself. As you may have seen in my Quantified Body podcast, I test a lot of stuff. So I did a lot of testing, and then I got other people, I recruited other people to test the bars as well to make sure that it wasn't just me that these were working for, but it was working for a general population. So, and we do have studies coming up, by the way, to further prove this. Now, I also spent thousands of hours of my time, which wasn't the goal at the beginning. I thought this would be a small project, 3 months. I had a good idea of what to design into it and stuff like that based on my previous experiments. But it turned out it's pretty hard to make one of these things in the factories, just in the prototyping, getting it to where you want it to be. So I ended up spending thousands of hours into this. And frankly, there were a few times when I thought I was going to give up because I got to a dead end, and at some point I was like saying, I have to cut. It's like a sunken investment of my time and money here. I just have to cut it, but I didn't. I kept on persevering, and I'm glad I did. So this cost me a lot of money actually, because I had to hire experts in food science, in other areas. I had to do a lot of prototyping, had to hire chefs and people to help with the prototyping. And a lot of failed production trials in the factory cost me a lot of money. Factories charge you for doing trials to see if it will work with the machinery and stuff. So the end result, now this was totally worth it, fortunately, at the end, because it's a 100% ketogenic bar. What do I mean by that? It has a 2-to-1 ketogenic ratio. You may know the ketogenic ratio is something you follow to be ketogenic with the diet. So the classic ketogenic ratio is 4-to-1, and the moderate ketogenic diet is 2 or 3-to-1. So I got this bar, I modified it, and basically prototyped and researched and developed until I got it to a 2-to-1 ketogenic ratio, which means it fits with a moderate ketogenic diet, which is basically what everyone is on. Very few people are on a 4-to-1 classic ketogenic diet. Mostly people with specific conditions like epilepsy or something like that. So it's very likely that you're on a moderate ketogenic diet, 2-to-1 ratio. The other thing I had to make sure was that it was high fat, of course, so it's 28% fat in this bar. High fiber, because fibers aren't glycemic, they're not going to spike your glucose, at least not the ones I put into the bar. And so it's 18% fiber. It's low carb, of course, very low carb. And it's moderate protein. It's not high protein like a lot of the bars out there, the low carb bars like the Quests, the Quest bars, the Grenade Carb Killers, the Nature's Plus Keto Bar is actually high protein. And the reason they're not high protein is because high protein can have a negative impact on your ketogenic response to the bar. So I didn't want it to be high protein. I wanted it to be moderate protein, which is basically what the ketogenic diet is. So I wanted it to follow the ketogenic diet properly. So I worked all of these ratios and details into it. And then I also made sure it was data-driven nutrition. And this is really a founding principle of Ketosource, my company, because I believe that data is the most important thing. I spent many years going around in circles with fitness and body composition and actually like sickness, because I wasn't focused on data, because I was listening to opinions here and there. Eventually I said, that's it. I was an analyst beforehand, so I was very data driven in my business life. And I was like, you know what? now I'm not going to do anything unless it's proven with data. And so Ketosource is founded upon the same principle, and so we have to prove with data that we're getting the results from anything we manufacture or produce or put out there. And so we use the gold standard of blood testing to test this bar with 39 human guinea pigs, including myself. And we tested the ketone response to the bar, which in most people increases ketones, not just flat, but increases them. And then we tested the glucose response, and that is either flat or slightly declining over 3 hours. So we tracked normally over 3 hours, not with everyone, some subjects it was 2 hours, but mostly we tracked over 3 hours because that's the period after eating something that will impact your bloodstream with your blood ketones and your blood glucose. So it's proven gold standard. And the result is also that I only used 11 simple ingredients. I really wanted to make sure it was as simple as possible and it had all natural ingredients. I follow a paleo keto diet, and I do eliminate some things from my diet, like dairy a lot of the time. So I wanted to make sure it was clean as possible, as simple as possible, so the maximum number of people could benefit from it. So it is paleo, gluten-free. It is keto, of course. It is GMO-free, and it's dairy-free also. So it hits all of those targets, and it's all of these ingredients I actually also tested individually, each one, before starting to make the bar. I made sure that each ingredient was ketogenic, so that whatever I was putting into the bar would add to the ketogenic response of it. And all of these are 100% natural as well, so they come from natural sources. So even things like, so we have pure cacao mass. So basically before chocolate is made, chocolate is a processed ingredient, right? You have cacao mass. And so we took the pure cacao mass and we put it in there. So it's really a raw ingredient, which gives it a great taste. It's a very good ingredient, all natural. We have erythritol, which is a natural sweetener. We have xylitol, same deal. These come from trees. Then we have, what do we have? The pure C8 MCT oil, which is, you may know my product, which is the top selling MCT oil in the UK because it's the highest quality. We're very transparent. We give certificates analysis and so on to show that it's the purest. And so the same concept was followed with this bar. What else? We have acacia fiber, which is gut beneficial. We have chicory root fiber, which is gut beneficial also. So great ingredients there. We have Himalayan salt, which is good quality natural salt, and so on. So, and cashew butter. So this also makes, the key thing about this bar is, why did I create it? Why is it worthwhile? What's the point? Makes keto lifestyle more effortless and convenient, which was really the stumbling block. And we have a consulting practice at Ketosource. And frankly, the stumbling block for most people is staying with the keto lifestyle, with their busy lifestyle. We're already busy today. We've got work, we're parents, or we're trying to do our triathlons, and we're trying to squeeze a lot into our lives these days, which is great. But when you're on a keto lifestyle and you really feel the benefits of it, still some people are dropping off, or they're dropping off sometimes and then coming back to it. And that's what we see all the time in our consulting practice. And really the reason is when I'm out at work, when I'm traveling, when I'm just too busy to make food or get food or buy food, you're just grabbing for something else because you don't have time. And I wanted to fix that. And so basically the ketone bar is something you can throw into your backpack, into your handbag, into your jacket pocket. I often have a couple in my jacket pocket these days. So that it doesn't matter where I am. If I'm on an airplane or, I landed somewhere, or I'm at work in meetings all day outside of my office, I can just grab it and eat it. And that will actually bridge me to when I get home or whenever I want to eat a ketogenic meals that I normally have somewhere. So the idea behind this is it will help people not to drop out from their keto lifestyles and continue to get the benefits. It's like basically a bridge to make sure that happens. And it also boosts ketones, and the reason it boosts ketones, so it's not only like a flat ketogenic response, which would be like, if I'm on a ketogenic diet, my blood ketones in the afternoon will be 3 millimolar, for example, and if I would take something ketogenic, they would stay 3 millimolar. But in this case, it boosts ketones, so it can actually increase your ketones, because it contains pure C8 MCT oil, my first product, and that will increase satiation and your energy levels, etc. So if you're using the oil, you know what benefits you're getting from it, and you know why you're using it, then you could basically use this bar instead of the oil in some scenarios where it's tricky to use the oil. When you're at work, when you're traveling, again, sometimes you don't want to travel and pour the oil into things, and so it might just be easier. And the last thing I've got to say is it has an outstanding taste and experience. And I really mean that because I put a lot of effort into there. I hired a connoisseur chef at the beginning of this to make sure that it was going to be something that people enjoyed and loved. Because I knew, even though we're following a keto lifestyle, at the end of the day, people can be driven by taste, and it's going to be successful based on that or not. So, feedback has been outstanding so far. They call it lush, delicious, which I'm really, really happy about. And I hope that you're gonna, taste it and you're gonna get the same experience. But so far, people love these bars, which is awesome, because then they will take, whatever they've been eating before, which hasn't been ketogenic, and they'll be happy to replace it. And that's the win there. That's what's going to convert more people to a ketogenic lifestyle so they can get the benefit of it. So, last thing to say is just check them out. You can find them on shop.ketosource.co.uk. So I recorded this in end of December 2018. And they're only available here right now. Because basically we're scaling up production. So this is the only place you can buy them. You can buy them in boxes or singles, boxes of 12 that I just showed you here. That's the format. And finally, what I just wanted to say is, do you have any questions? Is there anything you'd like to ask me about them? It's very simple. Just email me. You can email me at Damien, D-A-M-I-E-N-B, that's my second name, at ketosource.co.uk, and I'll be really happy to receive your questions and answer them. And I'm expecting, to discover a lot about this bar and how people are using it, and I'm just really excited to get it out to you. So hopefully you found this video useful, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.